We got a very special night tonight, but before we get started, would you please join me to start the January 24th board meeting with our Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Kittredge.
Here.
Maher.
Here.
McClafferty.
Here.
Shaughnessy.
Yes, here.
Snagowski.
Here.
Stapleton.
Here.
Great, thank you. Okay, next up, with the approval of the consent agenda, need a motion, or actually, let's read it off first. We have the approval of minutes for the village board meeting from January 10th, and we have the approval of disbursements. Need a motion, please.
So moved.
Okay, motion by trustee McClafferty, seconded by trustee Snagowski to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please. Is there,
There's more.
oh, got it. All right. We have more to the consent agenda, apparently. Okay, we need an ordinance approving and accepting a plat of easement. We have a resolution authorizing intergovernmental agreement for the common defense of tax objection cases. And we have a resolution amending Resolution R-17-21 approving professional services retainer agreement with the Altogether LLC. Can we have a motion for all of those now, please?
So moved.
All right, thank you. Trustee Stapleton and trustee Snagowski to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Kittredge. Yes. Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved. All right, next up, like I said, very special night tonight. We have 3 new officers that we're swearing in. We're very excited about that. Before we do the official business, Chief, do you want to say a couple words, please?
Sure. Before we bring James up, I do want to thank the board and the mayor for authorizing these new positions. These 3 new officers is a huge shot in the arm for the police department. It's appreciated and not unnoticed. I also want to thank our board of police and fire commissioners. They did a ton of work this year. Not only did they put together 2 separate recruitment lists, but they had the sergeant's promotional process at the same time and spent a lot of hours doing interviews in the evening times. Chairman Brian Cunningham couldn't be here tonight. He has a conflict with another meeting, but he wanted to wish the new officers well as they initiate into our department. But Trustee Cliff Miklos is here, and he's going to come up and represent the police commission for the swearing in. And as our village administrator reminded me before, that I owe these guys a dinner
Or 2.
this year for all the work that they did. So
Don't let him right off, George. Don't bother.
Rosebud, right, Cliff?
So I don't know if
Or La
you want to
Dolce.
come up, and then we'll start the swearing in
Yeah, sure,
process.
sure.
So James, why don't you come up and
You're going to go.
Okay, got it. Okay.
so the mayor's making, I was at a swearing in a few weeks ago at Naperville when they were introducing the new police chief, and they also had some new officers, and they had the new officers introduce themselves and give a little background to the trustees about them and their background. But we won't make you do that. James Solario is an officer that came to us from Country Club Hills. He is 30 years old. He's a resident of Crete. He graduated from Lewis University with a bachelor's in criminal justice. And he spent 3 years in Country Club Hills before here, and before that was a East Chicago, Indiana cop for 3 years. And we're glad to have his experience here in Lamont. Awesome.
All right, James. Come on up. Let's make this official. All right. James, you have to repeat after me, okay? Yes, sir. I state your name.
I, James Solario.
having been appointed as police officer
having been appointed as police officer
in the village of Lamont,
in the village of Lamont,
counties of Cook, Will, and DuPage,
counties of Cook, Will, and DuPage,
Illinois,
Illinois,
do solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Nick.
Hey, Chief. Hey, Chief, can you get closer to the mic when you're,
okay.
Josh was just saying it would help out for the, there you go.
Let me just move it a little bit. Okay. Nick Rankovich is 29 years old. He lives in Woodridge. He graduated from Southern Illinois University with a BS in forensic chemistry. I think we're gonna grab him for some crime scene stuff down the line. We get him from Stager, where he was working as a part-time officer before coming here, also with some experience. And he comes from a law enforcement family. His father's a retired commander from the Makina Police Department. Welcome aboard.
All right, Nick. Why don't you raise your right hand for me, please? I state your name.
I, Nicholas Rankovich,
Having been appointed as police officer
having been appointed as police officer
in the village of Lamont, counties of Cook, Will, and DuPage, Illinois,
in the village of Lamont, counties of Cook, Will, and DuPage, Illinois,
do solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of this office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And Nick's got his mom and dad with him tonight. Why don't you guys jump in and come up and jump into the picture? Oh, and his wife.
Ready? 1, 2. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
The other one too, right? I think so, yeah.
Okay, Phil, come on up.
Or Stager.
Okay, Joe Donovan's our new guy. He's 25 years old. He's a graduate of Ball State University with a bachelor in criminal justice. And he's right now, he's in his 3rd week at the Chicago Police Academy, so we're glad for you to get through that, and welcome aboard in a few short months.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. All right, we'll make this official. I, raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Joel Donovan,
Having been appointed as police officer
having been appointed as police officer
in the village of Lamont, counties of Cook, Will, and DuPage, Illinois,
in the village of Lamont, counties of Cook, Will, and DuPage, Illinois,
do solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of said office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome aboard.
One more.
parents are here, and Nick's also from a law enforcement family. His pop's deputy chief with the Evergreen Police Department, Evergreen Park. He's here with his mom, dad, and his sister.
One more, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Chief.
Commander Bezin's here in spirit, just so you know, Chief.
Hey, Chief.
I hope to be doing this a lot more often.
Chief, Trustee Shaughnessy just wants to say a couple words before we finish up.
I just want to welcome everybody to the police department, the new officers. It's great to see young blood, new blood in our organization. It's a troubling time for those of you that are in law enforcement, and we really recognize your willingness to step forward and serve people. And this, you will find, Lamont is a great town. The department is embraced by all the citizens that live here. The village board supports you 100%. And I just want to personally thank you for stepping forward, becoming a part of the Lamont Police Department, and wish you all well. Thank you.
And again, to second that, this board has been very supportive of our police staff. I know, we have the unfortunate obligation of trying to balance dollars with staffing, and that gets frustrating. We understand that. We fully support our staff, and you guys do a great job. Chief, you've been a great leader of the staff. I know, things can get a little bit troubling, when staffing, issues come up. We've just settled both of our contracts. I think both sides are very happy about it. I know, the board is as well. And, as Trustee Shaughnessy said, these are times of troubling times. And, Lamont is very much, I think, different in that we fully support our police officers, and we want to continue to, do whatever we can, either from a staffing or a technological standpoint. And we continue to do that. And Chief, again, appreciate your leadership. All right. Next up, we have another celebration here. Emily Christian, who is a resident of Lamont, turned 100 years old. And tonight, we have a proclamation for Emily. I need a motion, please.
So move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Stapleton, seconded by Trustee Snagowski. Emily, unfortunately, cannot join us, but I think she's on Channel 6. Is that correct? She's watching from abroad. So, Emily, we wish her nothing but the best. Whereas we honor Emily Christian on the occasion of her 100th birthday on November 24th, 2021, and whereas Emily has served on the Village of Lamont Art and Culture Commission since its inception in the year 2004. The amount of time she has volunteered and her commitment to the commission and Lamont Center for the Arts is extraordinary and most appreciated. Emily also served as a past vice president of the Lamont Artists Guild, and whereas her interest and enthusiasm for art began at an early age with jewelry making, she has traveled around the world to find the perfect pearls and beads and has shared her artistic talents and passion of the arts throughout her years. And whereas Emily is a retired biologist from Argonne National Laboratory and has demonstrated in countless ways her dedication to the welfare of others and has earned the respect and affection of people from all walks of life and all ages. And whereas she has lived during the most eventful century of the world's history, sharing her knowledge, educating others throughout her career, and enriching the lives of people in our community through art, now therefore I, John Agofsky, along with our entire village board, do hereby deem it an honor and pleasure to recognize Emily J.B. Christian on the occasion of her 100th birthday with sincere congratulations and best wishes for many happy and productive years. So Emily, we wish you nothing but the best. It's great to see you. Emily came out for our village Christmas party just last month, and it was so exciting to see her. And I know, Ron, you've had the enjoyment of working with her with the Art Commission.
Yes,
And
I have, yeah.
and I don't know if you have any words for her as well.
Emily has been one of the hardest workers on the commission, considering her advanced age. It's amazing. She's like a little steam engine. She just keeps going.
Awesome, awesome. Well, again, we congratulate Emily, and with that.
I would just like to say to Emily, we're sending over Commissioner Cliff Miklos to blow out those candles with you, okay? So happy birthday.
All right. So we need a, no roll call, right? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, motion carries. Again, congratulations, Emily. All right.
Transfer, want to leave, if they would like.
Yeah, we're gonna transition to the clerk's report. That'll give everybody an opportunity, if they don't want to spend another half an hour or so with us voting on ordinances and resolutions, have a good day.
Yeah. One needs to
Yeah, one's going.
to the academy. Awesome. Okay, next up, we have the clerk's report.
Thank you,
Linda.
Mr. Mayor. We have ordinance O-222, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $7,200,000 general obligation bonds, waterworks and sewerage, alternate revenue source. Series 2022, providing the details of such bonds and for the alternate revenue source and the levy of direct annual taxes sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on such bonds and related matters.
Okay, need a motion, please.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, I'm sorry.
Shaughnessy.
Oh, trustee Shaughnessy, seconded by trustee Maher. Chris, are you taking this?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we began this process in November of 2021 we discussed it at a committee of the whole. And then we also had the public hearing on January 10th of 2022. And this is one of our final steps. I'm going to turn it over to Bob Vale, and he is going to discuss where rates are at and where we're at right now. You can sit here. Sort of sit right there by the microphone.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Bob.
It's always good, whenever I get ready to talk, usually I empty a room in regards to talking
Take it
about bonds.
personally.
Timing is impeccable. But I just
Just
wanted
make that boring on purpose.
They left it a good time. I just wanted to update the board. I mean, we've been talking about this obviously for the last couple of months, and I wanted to update the board. As Chris had mentioned, this is the last board action in regards to the bond issue, setting aside, or basically setting the parameters for the not-to-exceed sale numbers on the bond issue, which we're currently scheduled to price the bonds on Thursday of this week. So at that point, we'll actually lock in the rates. So we're here towards the finish line. I did want to give everybody an update in regards to the rating. So George, Chris, Darshana, Jason, we spent a fair amount of time putting together a pretty exhaustive rating presentation for Moody's that highlighted everything that was positive for the village, and it was pretty thick. And Chris, thanks again for, taking the brunt of that work. We got the credit rating back on Friday. The credit rating was affirmed, AA2, stable outlook, which is the prior credit rating that the village has had on its previous bond issues, probably last 7-8 years. It's a very strong credit rating, solid AA category, just so everybody knows. Credit ratings, the highest category is AAA, second highest category is AA1, and then the third highest is AA2, and then that drops down to lower AA, the A's, and then BBB. So the village is basically the third highest credit rating of credit ratings throughout the country for municipalities. We're hoping to get an upgrade to AA1. based on our conversations with the credit analyst, we were extremely close. I don't think it had to do with much of what's going on from a financial standpoint of the village, more out of your control in regards to the size of tax base and things like that. But needless to say, still a very strong credit rating. It was reaffirmed by Moody's, and that credit rating is what we're using to sell the bond issue. Just a couple pages I want to cover real quick. First page is a graph which shows 3 lines and basically provides the yields on a AA credit rating, so AA being the same as the village, from 1 year all the way out to 30 years. We're issuing a bond issue, if you recall, for the water bonds out 20 years. That blue line is where we are today. So those are the rates as of today, generally from a nationwide standpoint. The yellow rates were where the rates were back in November, so it's just slightly lower than where we are today, actually about 18 basis points lower. Not a significant increase in rates, but rates have moved up a little bit. And then just to put that in perspective, that red line, that top line, is where rates were back in 2020. So January of 2020, exactly 2 years ago. So you can see we're basically below those rates. You'll see short-term rates are much lower, and even as we start going out 10 years and on, we're still extremely low. So what do those numbers actually look like if we turn to the second page? This is a similar spreadsheet that was presented to the Committee of the Whole in November 15th. On the left-hand side, there's a box that says water and sewer debt. So that's the outstanding water and sewer debt of the village before the bond issue. Then in the middle, it says max capacity. That's the capacity that the village has currently to issue water and sewer debt payable from the water and sewer system based on last year's audit. So basically, the capacity of it to issue about $29.5 million. Then that third column, it says bonds as of 11/15. These were the rates and the debt service used when we started the process back in November. See, the rate was about 2.18%, and that payment ranged from anywhere from $435,000 to $440,000. Now, as of today, updated rates from our desk, that true interest cost would be 2.36%, so that's the 18 basis point increase. You'll see it increases the annual payment, but not by much, probably $6,000 to $7,000 per year annual payment compared to what we looked at back November 15th. Still significant coverage from the water sewer system. I have a feeling unless something dramatically changes in the market, we're going to end up pretty similar to this last box, but we'll know that come Thursday. So with that, I didn't know if there was any questions.
Did you say it was a 20-year bond or a 30?
20-year bond issue. So they'll mature December of 2041, which is your fiscal year 2042.
So total 7 million, all interest, total gross cost after the period is just under 8.9 million, right?
Correct.
Got it.
Yep.
At a rate of 2.36%, as you mentioned, went up 18 bips but significantly lower than January 2020. All right. Any other questions or comments for Bob? Anything else, Bob, for us?
The only thing I'll just mention real quick, just want to mention all the hard work and just high-level financial management acumen from the staff, from the board, to maintain that strong credit rating, and put together all the financials is impressive. We went through our call. I know Moody's and the other rating agencies are receiving some pressure to downgrade communities and hold ratings where they are just because of the financial climate we're in. I will just make mention that, if you look at our scorecard, we actually do fall within, not, crying over spilled milk here, Chris, right? We fall squarely within the higher bond rating, but because of our tax base, they couldn't justify, raising us up to that next level. The average true value of towns with that particular credit rating is about $5 billion. Ours is in the 2.3 category. So Jason's got to find us about $3 billion worth of value by the time we go through this exercise again, Jason. But no, we do. If you look at our scorecard, we do fall within that higher rating. But it's the nature of being a small town, non-home rule that came up again. But still a fantastic credit rating. Nothing to sneeze at, Chris. I know you were a little frustrated with the process, but there really is a fantastic credit rating, and we're going to see our rates come in pretty low because of it. So well done, everybody, and everyone's commitment to the strong financials of the village. So.
Yeah. And I think it goes without saying, now, Bob, what would be just the differential, if we didn't have the AA and we were one below that, what's like the delta in the rate? What would be the additional rate? How many,
Yeah.
just ballpark, I
Because
mean,
this came up in regards to if we were to get the upgrade, what would that do to our rate? And it's probably the same if you were to drop one notch, still be in the AA category, but AA3. If you were to drop, it'd probably be, we're looking at a rate of about 2.36. You'd probably be 2.6%, give or take. And if we were able to, get the AA1, you'd probably be about 2.2%.
so,
It's about 15 basis points. Where the big drops occurs if you fall out of that AA category. If you
Yeah.
fell into the A1 category, there you'd be looking at half a percentage point easily.
and half a percentage point, just based on the delta between November and here, that 18, it'd be 3 times that, so that would be almost $1 million, because we're at 150,000. My point is it's very important that we keep a high credit rating. I mean, that would pay for a lot of infrastructure, over 20 years, 500,000. So I think what came up was there's an article where now they're starting to downgrade towns due to their lack of pension funding, and that is real. And I think, George, you should send that article out to everyone, because this is real money when we're at this high of a level of a rating. And we should not discount, what we've done from a financial standpoint, because that's money out the door if we have to pay a higher rate. So again, Chris, Darshana, great job. Appreciate all your hard work. And Bob, thank you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good job.
All right. Okay, with that being said, we need a roll call, please.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Maher,
Yes.
McClafferty,
Yes.
Shaughnessy,
Yes.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved.
And we have ordinance 0322, approving a development agreement with Teton Development LLC for Copper Ridge Residential Development.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee McClafferty, seconded by trustee Kittredge, is what I heard. Jason, are you taking this?
Yes, thank you. Mayor and Board, this is the first of 4 ordinances. The ordinance approving the development agreement with Teton Development LLC, followed by an ordinance amending the zoning map from R5A, single-family detached and attached, to R6 multifamily. An ordinance granting a final plan unit development for 19-unit single-family, 12-unit duplex, and 48-unit triplex subdivision, and an ordinance approving a donation agreement. All 4 of those are related to the same Copper Ridge subdivision. So within the proposal, there are 19 detached single-family homes, 6 duplex homes totaling 12 units, and 16 3-unit townhomes totaling 48 units. Also proposed is a public park constructed near the north entrance of the subdivision, an all-way stop sign with pedestrian upgrades and crossings at the intersection of Timberline Drive and Copper Ridge Drive, a path connection to the adjacent Lamont Township open space to the south. The village will commit to using impact fee cash to work with the township to identify a suitable path location, as well as materials for the path, so as not to disturb any sensitive landscapes. Additionally, the developer would escrow funds for a multi-use path on Timberline. This board is well familiar with this development and this property. First proposed in 2017 as Vistancia. At that time, the village annexed the property that includes Copper Ridge. Vistancia was a large development of 270 units with a mix of duplex and detached single-family homes. In 2019, a portion of the Estancia land came back to the village and got preliminary planned unit development approval for a 94-unit mix of duplex and single-family detached called Timber Run. Because at that time, the entire property that is subject to the development agreement tonight was rezoned to R5A. In 2021, the property was purchased by Teton Development LLC, and they are proposing a 79-unit residential subdivision named Copper Ridge on 69 acres, with 30 of those acres proposed to be donated to the village. Teton Development LLC is better known as Beechin and Dill and has several subdivisions in Lamont. A public hearing for this proposal was heard at the regularly scheduled Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on December 1st, 2021. The PZC voted in favor 7-0 unanimously to recommend this development to the board with conditions. It was also discussed at the Committee of the Whole on December 20th, 2021.
Thanks, Jason. Any questions or comments? I know we've covered this quite a bit in previous meetings, and I know several of the board members have seen this, probably round number 3, right? But no, I think before we vote here, appreciate everyone's due diligence on this, and you know, we've heard from residents from around there. We hear them loud and clear, and I think Beecham and Dill, I think your reputation has been very well received in Lamont, and it just, you know, goes to show that maybe, hopefully, you know, the third time is the best. And you know, I think you know, you guys do a great job. All I've heard is very positive feedbacks from, you know, the last 2 subdivisions. So again, looking forward to hopefully working with you, you know, continuing in the future here. Any other questions or comments?
Well, I'd just like to make the comment that I hope it's not the last time. Put up a good product and like to see it continue that way. So if the opportunity presents itself, I'd like to be talking to you guys again.
I know I haven't been in on this for the whole time that this has been proposed, but in coming in, I did have concerns about some of the issues of the road on Timberline and one way in and out. I talked to Public Works, the police department, the fire department obviously has given their comments, and I'm satisfied with the proposal.
Anyone else? All right, roll call, please.
Kittredge. Yes. Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
We have ordinance 0422, amending the zoning map of the Village of Lamont from R5A Single Family Detached and Attached Residential District to R6 Multifamily Residential District for 9.022 acres located at 100 West New Avenue and 40 Timberlane Drive in Lamont, Illinois, Copper Ridge.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
A motion by trustee Snagowski, seconded by trustee McClafferty. Anything else to add on this?
I'd like to make one comment here, just a clarification. And this would be, Jason, you can verify this, but I just want to point out that the reason we're moving from a 5A single-family detached is because the 5A only allows for duplexes, and the R6 will allow for the 3-unit development. That is in the PUD, and that's why we need to make that change.
And to note, the remainder of the property remains zoned R5A.
Correct, and I just want to point that out so people understand why the change is taking place.
That's correct.
Thanks, Rick. All right, roll call, please.
Kittredge. Yes. Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved.
Ordinance 0522, granting final planning unit development approval for a 19-unit detached single-family, 12-unit duplex attached single-family, and 48-unit triplex attached single-family residential subdivision on 39 acres located at 100 West New Avenue and 40 Timberline Drive in Lamont, Illinois, Copper Ridge.
Need a motion, please.
So move.
Second?
All right, we have a motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee Snagowski. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Kittredge. Yes. Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay, then we have ordinance 622 approving a donation agreement with Teton Development LLC, Copper Ridge Residential Development.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second?
All right, motion by trustee Kittredge, seconded by trustee Snagowski. I know this was brought up before. This donation is land that the village will have control of going forward. This is something that, you know, as a board, you want to be able to have control of that type of land. And that's something that, you know, as of right now, none of us have any idea what that can be. It could be open space, it could be potential development down the road. I don't think any of this is going to happen in my lifetime. But again, we've had this, this was brought up before, so just wanted to give some clarification on that. Jason, I don't know if you have anything else to add on that or not?
Yeah, I wanted to note that it's conditioned or subject to a Phase 1 environmental site assessment. So the owner, Teton Development, provided their Phase 1 site assessment. There were no environmental conditions present, but just to be certain, we're performing our own environmental assessment as well, and we'll report that back to the board, and I believe the ordinance allows for it to be approved, subject to that.
Yeah, and I know we've had some discussions with the township as well, you know, as far as working with them. There is a trail system out there, and again, you know, we want to make that the best it can be and to supplement the subdivision as well. So with that being said, any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Kittredge. Yes. Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
And I believe this is the last one. Resolution R322, authorizing the purchase of rotary two-post vehicle lift through Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion by trustee McClafferty, seconded by trustee Shaughnessy, I think I heard. Ralph, are you want to take this?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the current budget, we included a two-post lift, which we have in our maintenance, our vehicle maintenance area. Our current lift is just over 20 years old, and it has a hard time passing inspection now, and plus it's too small for our larger equipment that we want to maintain. So we're going through the Sourcewell Purchasing Co-op. It's basically the state bid with rotary. They have a lift that is larger, up to 20,000 pounds, and it's not to exceed $30,087.53, and that is including installation. Thank you.
Thanks, Ralph. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Kittredge. Yeah. Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, next up, Mike, Village Attorney Report. Do you have anything?
I have nothing this evening. Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
George, do you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Nothing, I'll have an item under executive session.
Okay. Any board reports? Any, go
I'll
ahead.
just throw a comment that Saturday night that the Ice Fest really was I think another good event and a nice hit for the town. A lot of people walking around. I think it accomplished what it was supposed to do.
And they're still out there.
Yeah. so-
Yeah, good job.
Not
Good
all,
job.
not all, Linda.
Good
There's
job.
more help. Yeah, I was doing carving and everything.
Chiseled away.
Took me a long time.
And they're all
to do
still
all
out there, so don't take a look.
No one lost a thumb, right?
Yeah, if we can stick.
Yeah, there's,
For another 2 days.
for sure.
All right. Any staff reports?
Jay, I have one real quick. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ralph.
Since you're remote.
Thanks, Chief, appreciate that. So just real quick, with the current snowstorms we had over the weekend, the odd even parking will be in effect starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Tomorrow is the 25th, so the residents can park on the odd side of the road, and we will plow the even side. And then Wednesday, that's vice versa, so it's the 26th, so the residents can park on the even side, and we will plow the odd side. Anytime you can get your cars out of the street and we can clear it before it freezes is always beneficial to our snow removal program. Thank you.
Hey,
Thanks, Ralph.
I want to comment on that. I was in another community last week, I guess it was, and I saw some signs out with this regard to the same type of feature. And they put signs, Ralph, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know how big a deal it is or how problematic it is, but they put out signs that said from whatever it was, November 15th to May 1st, and it described the even odd parking on this. It was a small sign, so I don't know if it's something to look at. If it's a big problem, it might be. If it's not a problem, then I'm not looking to do something just to do it. I'm just pointing it out. That's the first time I saw anything like it, and just thought I'd throw it out there.
Hey, Ralph, is there,
We really don't have a big issue, Rick.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe in some areas it would be a good idea, but overall, our residents cooperate with us and we get it done.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, you know me, I'm not looking to have a meeting just to have one. I'm not looking to make a sign just to have one either.
Ralph, I did get asked a question. Is there a minimum snowfall requirement that this goes into place, or is it always in place regardless if there's no snow?
It's after a 2-inch snowfall, Mr.
2
Mayor.
inches, got it. All right.
And again, always check the village website because, due to the storm situations, like this past one, we had, 2 clippers come through 2 nights in a row. Sometimes we don't have the manpower to get it done the day after. So always check the village website to see when it goes into effect. And like I said, we don't have a big problem. There's just certain areas we do have to hit.
Got it.
And we get the text too. I got mine.
Sign up for
did
stay
I.
informed, yep.
Yes. All right, thanks, Ralph. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The mayor's mentioned a couple times in the past, after a meeting he and I attended with Senator John Curran and House Leader Jim Durkin, that I was working with Senator Curran and addressing some of the theft problems we had with some legislation. And Senator Curran did submit 5 bills this past Friday. The most significant one is a bill that establishes a new class of burglary for folks that steal a car within the residential curtilage. That means curb to backyard of a residence. That we no longer would have to prove the difficult elements of burglary and or home invasion. It will be its own class of crime, and that's Senate Bill 3820. One of the difficult things we have with these residential thefts is when we arrest a guy in a stolen car, it's considered a property crime, and it's dealt with much less severely at the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. This would make it a Class 1 felony. It would be a class risen to a Class X if they're hooded and masked, if they're armed, if they use an override device to steal that car, and would be a Class X felony. So we're looking for support on that, and I think with the current climate, we may do that. He put in another bill that makes it a felony for fleeing and eluding while in a stolen car, and later on down the road, it would be good for us to expand that for all fleeing and eludings. A couple other bills that he put in, he put a bill in for possession of one of the override devices itself would be a felony. So if we stop somebody and they had one of those devices on them, whether they used it or not. There's some immunities that he put it in a bill that's probably a long shot to get it if we're pursuing to add signage, but he doesn't think that's, he thinks that may doom the bill, and we can always try to go there later. A couple other bills that we have in, We have a body cam rewrite to the 2015 law that Representative Natalie Manley from Bolingbrook is leading to clean that up and make it less expensive and add some grant funding dollars for villages like ours. And the one thing that we started talking about with legislators on Friday was, I can right now start my vehicle through my phone outside, and if I want, I can stop it. So the technology is there to stop and start vehicles. So we want them to require manufacturers, if they sell vehicles in Illinois, to permit, once we have a stolen car, for us to stop that vehicle and to governor that vehicle when it's driving away. And we think that would stop a lot of this theft. If as soon as that car goes to zero, it shuts off and becomes disabled. The pipeline.
Can you get it to
using
drive
these
right to the
cars-
police station, Chief? Can you get it to go right to the police station? Amazon can deliver, you could get the car delivered right to you.
I
then.
think that technology is there. So with that, it's just a matter of the public will for the legislatures to require the manufacturers and to see how hard they push back. But Sheriff Tom Dart is kind of leading that effort and contacting Detroit and to start to talk about that capabilities and what can be done safely and legally. But that's kind of an update on kind of where that effort's going.
Thanks, Chief. I think I saw another state is actually trying to sue, like Hyundai or one of the car manufacturers. Now they're blaming it on the car, on the car manufacturers for making it so easy to steal the cars. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But real quick, just, you mentioned an override device. Just explain that real quick.
So dealerships have a device. So if you lost your keys, and think of the new fobs that can remotely start vehicles now, you can go into a dealership and they can use a code to reprogram a new device to your car. Well, several of those have been stolen in dealership burglaries, and we don't know if they're using those same ones or cloning the technology, but we've seen on video them walking up to a car with an iPad and using the iPad to mimic or clone that device and start the car with those devices. So we haven't seen those in our community. We've seen those in some of the northern suburbs, and right now there's no law on its own against possessing one of those devices. So it's we don't think there's going to be a lot of opposition to that. It's just new technology needs new laws to catch up with it.
Got it. And again, we want to thank Senator John Kern and Minority House Leader Jim Durkin. They came out and spent quite a bit of time and was very, very concerned about this issue. And Mark, want to thank you as well, helping them out. I know you were kind of their go-to person from a chief perspective and the wording, so want to thank you as well. But just real quick, is there bipartisan support on this? Is this, I don't want you to try and handicap it, but what's kind of the temperature on this?
Well, I think each bill's got its own handicap, but I think there is a lot of interest now on the Democratic side of the legislature. The Speaker established a new task force that met last Friday that Representative Fran Hurley and LaShawn Ford are co-chairing. They seem to be earnest about putting some kind of an anti-crime package. I think vehicle thefts, carjackings, and these smash and grab burglaries are kind of top on their list. So I think something potentially could, get done this session unless this is just window dressing for the elections coming up.
Got it. Well, thanks again. All right. Any other staff reports? Jason, you have anything for us? All right. Any unfinished or new business? Audience participation, George, it's all yours.
Tough crowd today, Darshana. Anything? No. No, we do offer several opportunities. You can email in, call in before the meeting, or attend in person. And did not receive anything prior to the meeting, and there's nobody except Darshana in the crowd today. So we will kind of move on to the next item on the agenda, Mr. Bear.
Okay.
Thank you.
We are going into executive session to discuss under Chapter 5 ILCS of the Opens Meeting Act, 5 ILCS 120/2C5 for real estate purchase or lease, 5 ILCS 120/2C6 for real estate setting price for real estate, and 5 ILCS 120/2C11 pending litigation. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by trustee Maher, seconded by trustee Kittredge. All in favor? Say aye. Any opposed, say nay. Any action on this, George?
There will be no action after the meeting.
Okay, so with that being said, we're going to end the first part of the public session. And again, we want to thank everyone for coming out that was here previously, and everyone have a great week. And we will, afterwards, we'll close the session for good after our private session.